Greetings and salutations. This is Rick Koppel coming at you from the Not a Linux Guru Guy channel in Denver, Colorado. Once again, another episode. Today we're going to look at Fedora 33, and which I installed as my daily driver. So take a look. Hey, how's everybody doing out there in Linux land? Hopefully good and having a good time. Well, today like I said, we're going to look at my new daily driver. Yes, another new daily driver for me. Hopefully it'll be the last one I have, but I doubt it for some reason. I'm not a real distro hopper. I haven't been before, but I guess you could considerably call me a distro hopper to a certain extent lately. So there you go. Hopefully, I think I found my home. I hope. The reason I say that is because I found a distro that gives me all the things I wanted: stability, and as well as the right programs, most up-to-date programs I could get, and candy icons, and Cinnamon Desktop on top of that. I'm going to show you how I do it, what my site looks like today. Matter of fact, I'll go show you that to you now. Hold on. Yeah, there's my web page. It's pretty much how the graphic that comes up, I think it's the right one, that they use on when you first load into Fedora 33 on the GNOME desktop. I installed Cinnamon on mine though, as you can see here. It's got the standard menu, Cinnamon desktop menu, as you see. Now I also notice I got candy icons installed on it. There's one of the ones that you can do both of those on there that I mentioned last time. And I thought about it, I thought, well, I think I'll use it as my daily driver. And so I did. But there's a little caveat or two before you do that. But yeah, this is a pretty nice daily driver, pretty sturdy. Fedora is a distro from Red Hat, so it's got the Red Hat base on it. Matter of fact, it's the distro that they kind of test. They do initial, stable release for sure, but it's released that they're going to put into Red Hat eventually. So they do all their testing and development on here on Fedora for Red Hat, which I can show you that here in a minute. Let's go down here to the web page and I'll show you what all they have. Now they say, "Welcome to freedom!" Yay! Everybody likes that, don't they? Yeah. So now Workstation is what we're going to be downloading and installing. I'm going to go through with you a bit. And also they have servers that they have. Of course, Red Hat's a big server company, as you know. Or may not know. I don't know what you know, so everybody's different. Anyway, they're committed to free and open source platform, as they say here. More Fedora options. You got all downloads, you got labs, you got spins. And so you gotta learn more here. And it's got spins, which I guess is just different desktops. KD Plasma desktop and XFCE desktop, L key 2 key, Mate Compiz desktop, and Cinnamon desktop. Now, I didn't download and install this particular one because I went on a different route with that because I didn't know they had some desktop over here originally. Anyway, LDE desktop, SOS desktop. I've not heard of SOS before, but you are familiar with that one, you can try that one. And you alternate downloads, which have different ones. I didn't go to that page, so I didn't know about the Cinnamon desktop. You could download a version of it and install it as Cinnamon desktop. I did it the hard way. Hard quote. Put that in quotes there. Hard quote. Hard way unquote. Alternative downloads. You got Network Installer, which is the one I also downloaded and tried the first time to put on. You can install Cinnamon desktop that way too, or any other desktop through that one download. Network Installer. Got a torrent project. You can get torrent downloads there. Got alternate architectures. Cloud-based images. Everything. Experts only, it says. So yeah, you got all those different downloads you can do. Different versions. That's where you go to get them. I just downloaded the basic workstation and net installer is the only two I downloaded. Okay, we should have the GNOME boxes desktop up there. There you can see. We're ready to boot into Fedora Live 33. So booting up. There it goes. Thanks while they get cooking. Notice how it logged in and adjusted the screen automatically. I wish every distro did that. Yeah. And you just try Fedora, which is what you're doing right now, or you can install it to hard drive right there. Now the workstation naturally boots up into GNOME. So if you like GNOME, you'll like this. If you don't like GNOME, you can install one of the other distributions. Katy Plasma, Cinnamon, XFCE, Mate, or one of the other distributions that they had down there and that we saw. Now if you go here, you see the standard GNOME thing. There's the install icon. I'll make it handy for you to get to it. And you got your standard GNOME desktop. Now one of the things that I found out, one of the problems I had in installing this system though was when I got to the partition menu, there was no erase function that I could find in. They had automatic. They had two different ones where you could specify what you wanted to do to this. And I tried everything that I could think of, but I could not get them to erase my disk. It treated as if I wanted to like reduce the amount or something. But if I went in there, even when I went into their version of the partitioner, went in there and deleted partitions and made it so it was all empty, then it didn't do it when I hit refresh or reclaim spaces. It said it didn't reclaim any space. It put it back the way it was, went back to the beginning. I still had the same problem. I couldn't do it. So basically what I had to do is I had to go to this terminal here. I like Gparted because you can see graphically and it's easier to show what you're doing, but part is a little bit more command line oriented. So I'm going to do sudo dns f install Gparted. And then the DNS thing will pick it up and it'll install the sucker on there. It's currently checking out, updating the repository. It does it automatically. You don't have to worry about when to do that. It just does it automatically. And it needs to. Of course, this being first time the server been running, it needs to. It update repository before it does anything else. That's what it's working on. Yeah, I had problems with that. The only way I found out was install Gparted like I'm doing now, and then launch it. Then I'd be able to go in, erase the disk Of course, this was like when I was on my actual USB. Didn't do it on here because it's a virtual machine and you erase the host, which would be a good thing. But when I was doing my live USB stick, I had to go in and do this part. Your G part and erase the disk, delete the disk out, and then it would be able to go in and do that. Then it would install the whole system. It wouldn't install it because it didn't think there was enough room because all the partitions only left about 3 gigs of space on the end is all I could find or something like that. 3 gigs short of space I needed to install the system on there. Then you run gparted and authenticate. And then you see, of course, this is a virtual drive here, VDA, and it's all unallocated, so this would be no problem. But yeah, then you go in here, you delete your partitions. Is what I did. Then I was able to do the install. After I deleted my partitions, I close this out and close that out. Then I was able to go down here and do an install on the hard drive. What we're going to do now, so you see what it looks like. Yeah, since we got it up, we might as well run it, huh? Yeah, doggy. Now it's pretty simple install otherwise. I'll show you what I mean when I get to that part. Where they show the partition. Now it's kind of a different setup than most installs. Basically it presents, you got this is the next continue as they say here. Spot, open the door. Now here's where it gets different. See, it's automatic partitioning selected. It means it's going to automatically partition the disk and everything. It won't erase it, but it will partition it when it gets the mind to. When it says you have enough room on there to do it. Yeah, you go over here, you check these things, you have localization. The net installer had more options because you had more to do. You had to make sure your Wi-Fi was working, or you had some kind of link to the internet or use that. So anyway, if you go over here to installation destination, this is the part I kept running into. I had my A drive checked, my big drive. Tells you how much it's got free. I think it needs like about 8, 7, 10 gigs of space. That's 3 short. And then you can add disk if you want to. And here is a custom. So but what you select is automatic. And if you need to clear your disk, you would select this. Now this takes you to a partitioner, advanced custom partitioner, GUI partitioner. That is what I went to mainly. Try to see if I can delete out the partitions, and it didn't let me do it for some reason. Every time I reclaim space, it didn't reclaim space. So anyway, here we go, done. Automatically installs partition. Checking storage configuration, it says. It's ready. Once you get this, everything cleared up here in this area, whether you're using Net Installer or this Workstation Installer, you begin this button will be lit up and you can begin the installation. So there she rolls. Creating butter, even though I said, oh, because I put it on automatic, yeah. He apparently prefers a butter, I say butter, but I don't know if that's what the actual term is for it. Anyway, he likes that is that file format, file system on there. So that's probably what you get if you go to standard options on this. And it will install everything for you. The rest of the install goes pretty smoothly, at least on my experience. What I did was once I got it up and into the my installation on my hard drive, I was able to go into the terminal and install Cinnamon Desktop on it. And I logged out reset Sim Desktop, log back in, and that's Fedora has its own themed desktop, but I did a few other things to it. So here's my themes that I had. Like I said, like I said last time I installed, you can install desktop themes, you can install sorts of themes on your computer using the method I showed you last time. Not just icons, but because it's the only way they make icon themes available, that's how you pretty much have to do it for Cinnamon Desktop. You install it the easiest way, at least I found. Maybe another way to do it, but I don't know what it is, if there is. If anybody knows any way to do it differently, you can leave notes down in the comments and tell me about it. So, anyway, I got Black Mate installed on there. I kind of like that. It's what gives my 3D sheen effect look to my panel. Makes it kind of cool looking, almost metallic like. And it's also what has these buttons up here instead of the X and all that stuff. So it kind of looks kind of cool that way. So, see, I've installed a lot of themes on here. Actually, some of these came, now, Cinnamon Desktop, you don't get that many themes out of the box, but Fedora, you do. Fedora's version of Cinnamon Desktop, you get all these minty brown, minty teal, minty pink, minty blue, minty brown, so on and so forth, all these different versions of it. And so there's a lot of them that are already on here when I installed it. But yeah, Black Mate I installed myself. Anyway, this will go on for a while installing software, and I'm not going to do the update and everything else on it since I've got a whole thing to look at right here. So we'll go back and check it out. And now we're back on the lower screen down here. It'll take time to shift things around a bit so I get it cleaned up and ready for you to look at again. This is Fedora. Now, things I really like about it is, one, it seems to work pretty well. I mean, it's a pretty stable system, and it's noted for being stable. And Fedora Workstation 33 apparently is well liked by many people. Now, unlike Solus, it has a lot more software on the repositories, I believe, than Solus does, being its older distribution. Naturally, it would have more. But there are a few things that we're missing. One, Kdenlive doesn't actually appear in the repository. I don't know why, but I don't have it. I'm sure I get it Flatpaks or snaps, things like that. But I've tried out a couple of new systems. One that's native to GNOME and the GNOME desktop, which Cinnamon is a fork of GNOME, so it's in the same family as GNOME desktop and Mate desktop. They're all in the same family. And so I was wondering whether I would like a new video editor. Of course, you have to relearn a lot of stuff if you do that. So that's kind of downside, but I figured this is a good time as any if they didn't have Kdenlive on the repositories, like something that stays updated and such like that, pretty much. But it was not to be. I would actually end up with an app image of a shortcut, and yeah, I tried PTV, and it sort of worked, but I think it doesn't really handle MP4 files. I couldn't get it to handle MP4 files very well. I could get it to handle it in the lame meg file, or however you say that, encoder, but yeah, it wouldn't render when I hit it with ACC or AAC, whatever it is, encoder that they had in there. And I tried to find other. I saw the OpenShot. I mean, I saw the X264 encoder didn't seem to accept it or suck it in like it's supposed to. So yeah, I don't know what to say about that except I couldn't get it to do exactly what I. I noticed the encoding was off just a bit. in the sync of my lips with my words. The audio was off just a hair. Especially one or two of the encodings I tried on there, which did render, they seemed to be farther off than some. Others were just barely off. So yeah, I decided to just go with a different encoder, different video editing software that might work better, hopefully, on the encoding and rendering part. And so I went with that, and then this looks pretty good overall, I think. And just show you the menu. I've installed naturally a few programs already on this since being my daily driver, so I installed some things on here. I'll try to indicate what I've installed. I think HTOP came with it right out of the box, but I don't think Neofetch did. The strange thing was that boxes came installed out of this right out of the box. How about that? Yeah, but yeah, that's what I tend to use my virtual since the other one, VirtualBox, doesn't seem to work on my computer anymore. Doesn't want to. My kernels aren't signed or something like that. So there's PTV, as I heard it's called, PTV, PITIVI, PTV, and Shotcut. This is an app image actually here, because apparently it's not native on a lot of them except for Debian-based systems. But really, yeah, you get a lot of things here. I installed Celluloid and OBS. I think the only thing I had here was Cheese and Rhythm Box, Simple Screen Recorder, and Videos, which is an interesting video thing. I haven't explored a whole lot because I think it's a strange name. I don't know what the name would start with T. Twist, yeah, something like that. Anyway, programming boxes, the only program that came with Office. Yeah, they have all these. They got Contacts, they got Document Viewer, LibreOffice Impress, and Writer. Of course, I use Writer quite a bit. Internet, I installed Brave Browser. It came with Firefox, and I installed my library link and Thunderbird. I believe I installed Thunderbird on this machine. And then graphics, I had Document Scanner, Document Viewer, and Image Viewer all on there. And photos too. I installed Krita and Inkscape. And accessories. Oh, there's a lot of accessories. Most of them I didn't install. It's got a maps accessory, which I'm curious about a little bit. Desktop background that comes with it. When you install Cinnamon, of course, you got more desktop backgrounds you can use. These are all the ones that are with Fedora, specifically that's F3. Plus we have basic one. That one's kind of nice. I like space stuff, so let me say that. And you got all the things, these are ones that comes to pretty standard Cinnamon or something like that. And I like that one, huh? Some people really like that, Northern Lights. There's corn, you got dandelion, yeah, all sorts of stuff here. Himalayan desert. This is calm. And when I first installed Cinnamon Desktop on my computer, this is the default background I got. Yeah, so I switched it back to the one I liked on Cinnamon better because I like this particular 1 better, I think. Yeah, so Fedora is a nice distribution, and you can stable, should be. Everybody says it is, and all the evidence points towards it. It's been pretty stable. I've been able to do everything I wanted on it, be able to install the programs I want to install, so I'm good. I even had the printer installed nice and smoothly. Picked it up right when it came up, but then I also was able to install it in the scanner driver on there. Easy as pie. Just using the script from Brothers, and it installed without problem. That's great to know, huh? The only problem I really had with it was that one issue with partitioning. Didn't want to get rid of all of the partitions. I didn't know how to make it do it, so I ended up just deleting partitions on my hard drive, and I had to install it after that, because if I didn't, I'd have a big problem. I had an operable computer, but it worked. And installed after that, of course, since there wasn't anything there to get in the way of it. So, but you don't do that if you have a live USB, a real USB, not a virtual one. But you can't do that before you get it booted up on your live USB, otherwise your system will go dead on you in the middle of doing it. You don't need the USB, but you only have the system to put the USB on there. So that's the overview of Fedora 33. So far I really like the system. I'm enjoying it, and it's a good system. Haven't had any problems with it other than that one installation issue, and it's doing pretty good. And hopefully this will be the last one I'll do for a while on my daily driver for sure. Of course I'll do other distro reviews and install my VirtualBox, but not the same thing as the excitement of installing on a real computer, isn't it? Yeah. So anyway, there you go. If you want to install Fedora 33, if you want something reliable that has good access, use the DNF package manager. Really, it's quite good. I'm going to show you this real quick, but DNF is a command reference for package manager for Fedora, and it's derived from Yum, or Yum is the previous package manager for RPM based Linux distributions. This is a new DNF manager for it. Like I say, they put things on Fedora stable even before they put them out on Red Hat. You have to make sure it's extra stable or something in that regards. Anyway, I just want to show you a couple of things down here. Allows users to find and manage a list of aliases in the form of blah blah blah, name equals value, which can be then used as DNF commands to abbreviate longer command sequences. For example, on using alias command C alias examples. So DNF alias list will give you any aliases already defined, which are none right now. Apparently the user sets them up, not anybody else. Now in Solus they had aliases for things like install. So let's create an install alias. So DNF alias add it equals install. Okay, so you have to use super root privileges to run that command. The alias that it is. So now if I want to install, yeah, you could put an alias for search. Let's do that one. DNF add C search. Yeah, you also add aliases in. So then you go sudo dnf sr dog. If there's anything with dog in here. Lots of stuff. Data dog. Cucumber, go dog, data dog. Watch dog, sheep, dog, sheep, dog. Apparently a lot of dogs in Linux, so yes, that's Fedora 33. Hope you enjoyed that and check back with us at a later date.